All right, here we have a rooftop unit that is on top of a house that happens to live in its own little clubhouse, kind of unusual. And water was spilling into the house during air conditioning operation. So the water is supposed to drain here, and that's how they had it set up to drain, but it was dripping into the house, and that is because this trap was clogged. So obviously I have the two covers off here, and so the blower motor pulls air from the house and brings it through the cooling coil and then blows it back into the house. And so the cooling coil produces condensation, and the condensation is supposed to drain in that drain pan and then here and then away it goes. But that trap had gotten clogged full of dirt, so it was overflowing into the house. So what we're going to do about it is I got a wet dry vacuum connected to the drain line at the end there, and I put some tape over that vent, because if the vent's open, then it's not going to really put much suction on that trap, right? When I flip it on, whatever water remains in there is going to come out and help to scooch the dirt out of there. And then I'll probably pour some more water into the pan just to help make sure it's cleaned up. See, I got the hose taped on there. And yeah, there really wasn't much water left in the pan. So we can just take this water and that's going to help. That water is going to help to put out any dirt that remains. You know, and theoretically you could do a couple rounds of water. You can even use cleaners if you want to. I don't always, in fact I usually don't use cleaners unless it's called for. You know, in real humid climates they'll get a lot of fungal or mold or whatever it is growth that kind of calls for some kind of cleaner, but in this case this should be fine because we live in a pretty dry climate, so we don't get that kind of growth out here. All right, so if you ever do this sort of thing, be sure to remove the tape off the vent. And then another good thing to do is to come back later and check to make sure it's all dried out, because, you know, for example, I imagine that connection's okay, but I don't actually know that for a fact, and I still have a bit of a drip, and I'm fairly confident that the drip is actually coming from this insulation. This is a foil-backed insulation right here, and it's saturated, and so that's likely what's dripping there. I don't think the pan is compromised, but the only way to really know for sure is to come back and check. You know, give it a few days and make sure it's all dried out. All right, so that is what you would normally see from a system that's working well. Sometimes even more.